Hey everyone, your favorite fishing buddy is here, ready to dive into our detailed fishing forecast for a very special day, January 31st, 2026. Now I know what some of you are thinking. January in the USA, that means ice and cold. And yes, for many of us, winter's grip is tight, but trust me, this day holds incredible, diverse opportunities for those willing to adapt and brave the elements. From the frozen lakes up north to the surprisingly warm coastal waters down south, we're going to break down exactly where to find the fish, what they'll be biting, and how to outsmart them. Get ready to learn some tricks that will turn a seemingly slow winter day into a memorable angling adventure. Let's talk tactics for some of our favorite species across this great nation. First up, for my ice fishing fanatics in the northern United States, we're targeting yellow perch and crappie. These resilient little fighters are going to be your prime targets, friends. Expect them to be schooled up, seeking stable temperatures deep beneath the ice. You'll want to focus your efforts in deeper basins, especially those with a muddy bottom, where perch love to feed. For crappie, look for them suspending around brush piles, submerged timber, or bridge pilings, typically in 10 to 20 feet of water. Use small jigs like a tungsten jig tipped with a waxworm or a small soft plastic, fished slowly with subtle twitches. The bite might be light, so pay close attention to your line. Moving south to the open freshwater bodies in the southern and central United States, largemouth bass will still be active, though a bit more lethargic. They'll be pushed into deeper channels and flats, seeking warmer, more stable water. Focus on main lake points, channel swings, and any remaining deep cover like brush piles or submerged structure in 8 to 12 feet of water. A slow presentation is key here. Try football jigs, Carolina rigs, or shaky heads fished along the bottom. For a reaction strike, a slow rolling spinnerbait or a small jerkbait worked with long pauses can entice a bite, especially if you find them suspended. And for our friends on the southeast and Gulf coasts, redfish and speckled trout are fantastic winter targets. Inshore, redfish will school tightly in shallow mudflats on sunny days, soaking up that precious warmth. Look for them in areas with dark bottom that absorbs heat. Speckled trout will concentrate around deeper holes, creek mouths and bridges. The water will be clear, so finesse presentations shine. Downsize your baits and retrieve them low and slow. Soft plastics on a light jig head, myrodines or live shrimp, worked patiently will be your best bet. Now let's break down the conditions that are shaping our fishing landscape for January 31st. The weather. Across much of the United States, January 31st is deep winter. We're looking at very cold temperatures in the Northeast, Midwest and Mid-Atlantic states, often well below freezing. Expect shorter daylight hours and a good chance of cloud cover. Atmospheric pressure will likely be rising in the wake of a cold air mass, which can make fish a bit more reluctant to bite. Winds could be brisk, making the real field temperature even colder. The Pacific Northwest might see frequent rainfall, while central states will generally be drier. In contrast, southern coastal areas like Florida and parts of Southern California will experience much milder conditions, with highs potentially reaching the upper 60s or even 70s Fahrenheit. These areas will likely enjoy more sunshine, though sporadic showers aren't out of the question. Water temperature. This is critical, friends. In our ice-covered lakes up north, the water beneath the ice will be just above freezing, around 39 degrees Fahrenheit. Open freshwater bodies in the southern regions will range from the low 30s to high 40s Fahrenheit. However, coastal saltwater areas, particularly in Florida, could see temperatures in the mid-70s Fahrenheit, while Southern California might be in the upper 50s. Remember, this cold water drastically slows fish metabolism, making them less aggressive and more lethargic. Phase of the moon. For January 31st, 2026, the moon will be in its late waxing gibbous phase, just 1 day shy of the full moon. Many anglers believe that the period leading up to and during a full moon can stimulate fish activity, often leading to better nighttime feeding and increased movement, even in cold water. While it's not a guarantee, it can certainly add an element of excitement to our winter fishing. Overall fish activity. Generally speaking, fish activity across the USA on January 31st will be on the slower side due to the prevailing cold temperatures. Fish are conserving energy, so they won't be chasing baits aggressively. However, this doesn't mean no bites. It means we need to slow down, be patient, and present our baits precisely. The key is to find those stable temperature zones, deep water, mudflats, or areas with thermal cover. Considering all these factors, I'd rate the overall bite for January 31st as challenging but rewarding. You'll need to work for your bites, but the rewards can be significant. The fish will be concentrated, and a skilled angler using the right techniques can find some real trophies. So there you have it, my friends. A comprehensive look at what to expect on the water this January 31st. Remember, preparation is half the battle, especially in winter. Dress warm, stay safe, and think like a fish. I wish you all bent rods and screaming reels, ni foster, ni cheshui, as we say in Russia, meaning neither tail nor scales. If you found this forecast helpful, please hit that like button, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and ring that notification bell so you don't miss any of my future fishing insights. And I want to hear from you. What are your plans for fishing this winter? What's your go-to cold weather bait? Share your tips and observations in the comments below. Let's build this community together. Tight lines, everyone.